Hellhounds, the vicious guard dogs of the underworld. And in cases of shows like Helluva, embodiments of the gluttonous. I'm the gentleman Vandal. I break it down so you can build it back up. And today, we're going to be redesigning the queen bee of gluttony herself, Bee-lzebub. With all that out of the way,
Let's get it started! I'm what you want, not what you need.
starting off, I actually wanted to address one of the greater known criticisms regarding Bee's canon design, namely that it just felt too cluttered. I more so have an issue on the execution of these elements of her design. Her bangs clash too much with her lava lamp hair, feeling too much like a hairpiece. To me, they should have just picked one or the other. Her bee wings also feel like an afterthought, looking more like they were stapled on. Her second set of arms also look awkward while placed on her lower torso instead of underneath her primary set on her upper torso. To me, it looks like she's about to pull sardonyx and just spin around like she's on a cylinder. And I have a couple more issues that I'll address soon enough. Others have argued that the cluttered look actually helps to lean into her sin of gluttony as a form of overindulgence. And I can kinda see it, but I'm still not a big fan of that idea either. I've seen other designers just nix the whole hellhound aspect of her and just make her completely insectoid to keep true to her mythologically accurate depictions. And while I can also understand the reasoning behind those choices, I actually do like this twist on the conventional depictions of Bee-lzebub, giving her new lore that ties into this hell's version of the hellhounds. I also think it fits well considering a certain other hellhound, Cerberus, was depicted in Dante's Inferno as the keeper of the Ring of Gluttony. So I think there is a basis behind this change to help it stand out on its own. So, for my new queen bee look, I decided to slim down the design a bit. I got rid of her bangs in favor of her lava lamp hair since they can serve the same purpose. She also now has a regular foxtail, but now her mane trails down her spine and coils around her new tail to mimic the yellow and black streak pattern that bumblebees normally have. As for her clothing, I decided to give her a variation on what she wore to court in episode 211, playing more into the circus theme she's supposed to have along with the other deadly sins. For those who aren't aware, Lucy is the ringmaster of the big top, Ozzy is the trapeze artist, I think, Levy is a freak show, Belle is a fortune teller, Mam is a clown, and Stan is a Herculean strongman. And yes, that is what I'm calling Satan. Everyone else gets a shortened nickname. He is Stan now. Hello, Stan! Bee's circus theme is that she's an animal tamer, hence her connection to the hellhounds. So I gave her the jacket that's commonly attributed to them. But I styled the lapels to focus on the heart-shaped hole in her top. Similarly to the one in her canon design, seeing as that's also the logo for her food delivery business, Bee Eats. It's also for that reason that I moved the lava lamp in her stomach into the big heart to further emphasize it. Now, a big criticism that I can see coming is that I've kind of stripped her of the party girl look that she's known for, but I imagine that more as her casual outfit when she's having her hellhound parties, while the one I came up with is what she'd wear when she's on business. I also think this look I came up with helps to further foil her to Luna, especially in the class divide theme that's repeatedly reminded to us throughout the show. As for her abilities, that's where those previous elements that I criticized before come back into play. With her gelatinous mane, she can now reshape it to form whatever she needs, whether it's for an additional set of limbs or a new pair of wings to fly around with. But that's not all she can do with them. Playing into her candy powers, Bee can also shapeshift her glowing mane to become any type of candy she can think of, with a new hairstyle to match with it, from a soft blowout cotton candy to a hard perm style rock candy. This also gives her the chance to change her color palette like she did in her Cotton Candy music number in episode 1-8. All of this was to try and capture the same overindulgent type of gluttony that made her canon design feel cluttered, but with a change in the flow of how it's all executed. And with that, I present to you my design for Queen Bee's default form.
What's that supposed to mean? Is that a problem?
Now we move on to where Bee's true Bee-lzebub inspiration shines through in her full demon form. While in the previous section I was focusing more on Bee's hellhound look, here is where I fully lean into her insectoid namesake, through what I believe to be a very underutilized element in the show proper. For those who aren't aware, the Sins and Helluva boss as well as a few other demons have 3 different appearances. Their hidden forms where they blend into the public when they aren't on duty, their full demon forms where their true powers are brought to the forefront, and their default forms that are sort of a mix between the two that they feel the most comfortable in. Luna and Stolas are actually really good examples to go off of, as they essentially follow the same principle with noticeable differences with their ranks. They each have a human disguise that they can use to blend in undetected. Then they have their full demon forms, where they transform into the more complete versions of the animals they're based on. Then finally, they have their default forms that are essentially an in-between stage of the previously mentioned 2. A noticeable difference, though, comes in with Stolas, as he has more of a dark, sinister aura enveloping him, most likely tied into the fact that he has the power of a royal demon. Luna, being of Hell's lower class, doesn't have that, only transforming into a full-on wolf. It's a key visual detail like that that can tell a lot more than what words can in acknowledging the clear difference in power between them. Bee's full demon form, though, well, it's just a bigger version of her default form. Arguably one of the most boring transformations you could give her. And it's not just her. Osmodius and Mammon, from what we see of their full demon forms, share this design problem as well. Believe me, all the other deadly sins are getting their own videos. When I think of one of the 7 deadly sins turning into their true forms, I would think of something a lot more primal, that they've allowed themselves to let go of their restrictions to show off all of their power instead of just a fraction of it. And considering what I just pointed out before with the Luna and Stolas examples, I think it would have been a lot cooler if, through these full demon forms, they actually lent in fervor to their demonology inspirations, and even more so. That way you could have the best of both worlds. One form where they kept close to their mythological inspirations, and another that you could have a lot of creative freedom with. And it bugs me that this detail isn't capitalized on more, as, well, these are the 7 deadly sins, the supposed originators of hell, and the most they get to show off their true powers is relegated to simple gigantism with minimal changes. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to fix here. For starters, Bee isn't exactly that far off from her Bee depiction as you may think, as Bee-lzebub's title as the Lord of the Flies wasn't exactly a tribute to that of the insect, and more so that of demons that can just fly in general, as with his other titles. Even the artistic depiction in the Infernal Dictionnaire is closer to that of a hornet, as seen with its antenna, mandibles, and additional pair of wings, all of which are absent from actual flies. So, for my version of her full demon form, I'm going off of what I exemplified with Stolas and having Bee's glowing gelatinous mane completely envelop her entire body. She grows in size like before, but her tail becomes so large that it becomes the entire lower half of her body and now resembles that of a bee's abdomen. She creates 2 additional pairs of arms to keep herself upright when she isn't flying with bee wings, and as a creative detail, her ears have now morphed to where not only do the tips resemble that of a bee's antenna, but the insides now appear to have ringed eyes within them. That's a little nod to the bug eyes that's in her classic depiction. As for her abilities, calling back to the candy powers I mentioned in the previous section, Bee can now pull from her gelatinous mass to form candy-based weapons and other assorted constructs, kinda like what Paraspero does in One Piece with his liquid fruit. Another thing, since this is Bee's full demon form, she's already the largest she can be with her size-shifting abilities. But if she ever wants to get larger, she can actually keep devouring food to add to her gelatinous mass, similarly in fashion to the old movie monster, the Blob. It also helps to play around with the idea that since Bee is already the smallest of the deadly sins in her default form, it would be ironically fitting that she would become the largest of all of them in her full demon form, even more so than Stan. Hello, Stan! And with that, we conclude our redesign of the full demon form of our Queen Bee of Gluttony. Let's go now! Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of more redesigned videos down the line. I'm the Gentleman Vandal. I break it down so you can build it back up, and I'll see you all next time.